revealed your real self to?
The man I trusted most has done the unthinkable.
A Spy Among Friends. Available 8th of December. Stream free on ITVX.
Now, with all the stories making the headlines where you are this Thursday, it's the ITV News.
On tonight's programme, the missed opportunities to save little Logan Mawangi before he was murdered at the hands of his family. Now the review into what went wrong is published.
We apologise to Logan's father.
We are deeply sorry.
We take full responsibility and apologise.
Also ahead tonight, raring to go, fighting talk from the Wales camp as they prepare for their second game. We'll have the rundown on tomorrow's opposition, Iran. And back in Wales, the die-hard fans skipping lessons to be there for the boys. Hello, good evening. Little Logan's voice was not heard. That was the devastating conclusion of a review into failings and missed opportunities to intervene before the murder of 5-year-old Logan Mawangi in Bridgend County. A child practice review into the actions of doctors, social services and other agencies found systematic failures along with poor practice. Our reporter Hamish Auskerry has tonight's top story.
The mistreatment of Logan Mawangi by members of his own family was horrifying. But today, for the first time, the organisations who had a responsibility to safeguard the 5-year-old's well-being gave this damning conclusion on their own actions.
This review, amongst a number of other findings, identifies service failures where agencies could and should have acted differently. For these failures, we take full responsibility and apologise.
Today's review is clear there were missed opportunities to change the course of Logan's life. 11 months before his death, Logan was taken to hospital after his mother claimed he fell down the stairs. Doctors found multiple injuries, including a broken arm and several bruises. Doctors believe those injuries were accidental and, as a result, failed to make a child protection referral. The review also found that despite several previous convictions by John Cole, including assault of a child, there was a lack of curiosity about the risks he may pose to Logan, going on to say Logan's voice was not heard. Logan's biological father, Ben Mawangi, never knew Logan was under the supervision of Children's Services. The review recommends what he's already been campaigning for, to inform anyone with parental responsibility that their child is in care.
Social services were made aware of various injuries to Logan sustained at home, the broken arm, the pattern of bruising, the burn to his neck. People will find it hard to understand how social services were not able to see that Logan was clearly the victim of a pattern of negligence and abuse.
Yeah, I think, just reflect the apology that I've already made this afternoon on behalf of the council, because clearly we've identified through the lens of hindsight that in joining up information with our multi-agency partners, there were missed opportunities. Clearly that understanding of risk was not, and the dangers to Logan within that household was not as they needed to be.
This is how those closest to Logan want to remember him. And when news of his death broke, this is how people in his tight-knit community of Sarn chose to honour him. But most of those tributes have now been removed, leaving just this memorial to Logan's memory. Even the flat where Logan lived and where he died is now someone else's home. After all the horror of the last 18 months, this community is trying to move on. But organisations like NSPCC Cymru say action must be taken now to address long-standing issues.
Obviously, some of the issues that the review identifies are not new and they're already well known. So what we're saying is now's the time for action.
The conclusions of this review will be hard to swallow for the people in Logan's life who loved him, and difficult too for those who had a responsibility to safeguard him and on several occasions failed to do so.
Well, Hamish is outside Bridgend Council's offices this evening. Hamish, a lot in this report. What's been the political reaction so far?
Well, there's been a very strong reaction, John, as you'd imagine. Look, today no one is trying to draw attention away from the fact that people who perpetrated Logan's murder are the people who are currently serving long prison sentences. But today, in reaction to this very damning report in many ways, the Welsh Conservatives have said that the tragedy is that his death could perhaps have been prevented had some of the failings identified in this report been avoided. We spoke to one of their MSs a little earlier.
Too many cases of working in silos, health and social care professionals not actually talking to each other, communicating, getting those red flags and dangers over to the right people who need it the most.
Now, the Welsh Conservatives and Plaid Cymru are calling for a national review into children's services in Wales. That has already happened in England and in Scotland. Now, the reason they're calling for this, according to Plaid Cymru, is that some of the things identified in this report, things like concerns over leadership and culture and the impact of the pandemic, they say are unlikely to be unique to Cwmtaf Morgallog, and therefore more could be learnt about the overall problems in Wales. But the Welsh Government responded to that today. They said they're following all the recommendations in this report and that they are already taking lessons from what has been learned in Scotland and in England. We spoke to Julie Morgan a little earlier.
We've had so many reviews and we've already started on a lot of the things that we need to do. So I don't think it's necessary to have that full review. I would prefer the action to get ahead and do things rather than have another review.
Well, despite the Welsh Government's opposition to that, there will continue to be calls for that national care review. Of course, Logan's loved ones have had to deal with all the horrible details that came out of the criminal trial, and now this report today, and now they have to pick up the pieces.
OK, Hamish in Bridgend, thank you very much indeed. Wales footballers say they expect a response from tomorrow's World Cup opponent, Iran. Whilst Wales drew 1-1 against the USA, the Iranians were thumped 6-2 by England. Tomorrow's match will be played against the backdrop of political unrest in Tehran and other Iranian cities. Here's our reporter Issa Farfor with the latest from Doha.
This was the moment Wales has been waiting so long for. The anthem filled the stadium ahead of our opening game and touched the heart of millions. Tomorrow, Wales takes on Iran.
I'm really confident actually, because I watched the England-Iran game, and unfortunately for Iran, they didn't look their best. Obviously, the goalkeeper got injured. So I think if Wales can play like they did in the second half against the USA, I think it will be a comfortable win for Wales.
But for Iran, it was quite different. Players refused to sing their national anthem before their first match in solidarity with protesters back home. Protests which spread across the nation following the death of 22-year-old woman in the custody of the morality police. Hundreds of people have lost their lives in the unrest. The Iranian manager says he wants his players to be able to focus on football.
It's not right to come to this World Cup and ask them to do things. It's not them responsibility, it's not them mission. They're here to play for the people, to honor the country, to bring happiness.
I have met a number of Iranians this week, but very few speaking to me, fearing consequences when they return home.
The Iranian players didn't sing the national anthem in the last game against England. Do you support their action?
We are here for supporting our team, and we are here for football match, and we don't want to speak about political things.
That's not the first time Iranian a sport player in any kind of water polo player, volleyball player didn't read the national anthem, and most Iranian people support that. Yeah, Iranian national football team always play for Iranian people, not for regime.
Wales has played Iran just once before. In a friendly in 1978, which Wales won 1-0. A similar result tomorrow would provide a welcome 3 points for this side, with victory likely vital for Wales to progress. Isa Farfour, ITV News in Qatar.
Well, with the match set to kick off at 10 a.m. tomorrow, many schools are building lessons around the event, with pupils settling down to watch the game in class. Our reporter Rob Shelley went along to a school in Llandudno to find out more.
If, round about 11:30 this morning, you felt the foundation shake or the earth tremble, don't worry, it was just Ysgol San Sior singing Wales's other national anthem and peaking 24 hours too soon.
I've heard loads of people have said that if there was a competition for the best national anthem, that Wales would win it.
Tomorrow, the big screen will interrupt double maths for single Iran, Cymru's second World Cup game. And Gareth Bale's already made history. I don't mean down on the pitch, I mean in the hair. Joel, you've got a secret hidden beneath the beanie hat. The Gareth Bale top knot. Is this in honour of the Gareth?
Yes.
What's top knot life like?
Brilliant.
Would you go back?
No.
Okay, maths or football? Which one wins?
Football.
That was a really silly question, wasn't it?
Since they've had a lot of time not being in the World Cup, I think they've had a lot of time to practice.
64 years is, quite a fair old time to practice.
I think they're going to come close to qualifying.
As this is a school with many animals, hello, Kellen the dog, and an actual red dragon, well, ish, we thought we'd enlist some expert help for the Iran game. Wales, Iran. Wales, Iran. Back in the 2010 World Cup, there was a predictive octopus called Paul who was quite good at guessing what was going to happen. Here we have Tonka the tortoise, we have a Cymru flag, we have Iran's flag, and we have a tortoise that, well, basically he's had to go at the cucumber. He doesn't seem that interested in football at the moment.
Wales tomorrow will beat them like 5-0 or something.
Blimey! Wales, cucumber, Iran.
The minute they see David Iwan's Mohit song, the whole erupt. Yes! Can we sing it again, Mr. Jones? Can he ganio eto?
Last word, Cooper. He's 9 and very wise.
Just try strong, give it all they've got. If they lose, then it's not likely to end the world. It's just one World Cup.
Cooper, are you available for team talks?
Yeah.
Rob Shelley, ITV News, Llandudno.
Rugby now, and Wales head coach Wayne Pivac says he's not worried about his own future as pressure continues to mount. Wales have won just 3 out of 11 games this calendar year, which includes a home feat to Italy.
Other people make those decisions. What we do internally is make sure that we prepare the best we can. I can't get sidetracked by those sorts of things. At the end of the day, it's a professional environment we're in. We know there's a lot at stake, clearly. And, we're here rolling our sleeves up this week to try to get the result that everybody wants.
Well, rolling her sleeves up with the forecast is Ruth.
Transport for Wales. Proud sponsors of ITV Cymru Wales Weather.
Hello there. It's been a stormy old day today with a warning for strong winds out towards western areas in particular out there at the moment, blowing some heavy squally showers in too. These will tend to clear into the second part of the night and many areas will see some dry spells and some clear skies, which in turn allows the temperatures to drop away. Feeling the chill with lows in more sheltered spots of around 4 or 5 in Celsius. So wouldn't rule out the possibility maybe of just a little bit of frost in more sheltered rural areas. So a chilly start to tomorrow morning, but a ridge of high pressure, fingers crossed, will bring something a little bit dry and brighter. I think southern areas could be in the firing line for further squally showers, but elsewhere a dry day with lots of blue sky. Breezy in places, but not quite as strong as the winds were out there today. As a result, temperature-wise, still holding up into double figures, highs of 11 or 12, so not quite feeling as bitterly cold as it did out there today. But Friday is really shaping up to be the better day of the days ahead because it all goes downhill again by the time we get into the start of the weekend, with more wet weather waiting in the wings. It'll push its way from west to east, again being blown on some very brisk winds and the possibility of a warning being issued for that very heavy rain. Your outlook is an unsettled one into the weekend, turning slightly more settled into next week. Good night.
Trafnidiaeth Cymru yn falch i noddi tywyd ITV Cymru Wales.
And that's all we have time for. I'll be back with the late update. That's after the ITV News at 10. But for now, enjoy your evening.
The squalid reality of life on the Rochdale housing estate that killed Awab Ishak. As the Housing Secretary expresses sympathy to the 2-year-old's family, we